30 years ago, there was a small conference. It was held in Beijing. It acted as a sea change for women's rights. Yeah, 30 years ago. That women's rights were human rights was not just a rallying call, it was Equality Now's mandate. Our founders were there at the UN's 4th World Conference on Women. They saw nearly every government commit to a comprehensive plan to achieve global legal equality, the Beijing Platform for Action. Since that day, Equality Now has never let up. Every 5 years, through our Words and Deeds report, we've measured governments against their promises. We've named the laws that must go, we've celebrated the ones that have fallen, and never let them forget that equality must be written into the very fabric of the law and thereby our lives. It's tough work, but we are never alone. It takes a village. Our lawyers across the globe, our 3,000 partners, and hundreds of women's rights organizations working day in and day out. Not to mention supporters like all of you who make this work possible. Progress is not only possible, it's happening. Since 2020, across the world, 99 discriminatory laws that we have identified have been struck down. And here's just a few that have changed that Equality Now advocated for since 1999. In Guatemala, Morocco, Peru, Lebanon, and more, rapists can no longer escape punishment by marrying their victims. In Kuwait, women now have the right to vote. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, wives are no longer legally mandated to be obedient. In the United States, marriage is no longer a defense to statutory rape under federal law. But to note, it still is a defense in 19 states in our country. These changes will impact the lives of millions of women and girls, men and boys, for years and generations to come. The power of the law is remarkable. We talk about these headline changes, but you might wonder, how does it actually happen? The answer is always people. It's people who make it happen. The lawyers, the advocates, all of these amazing people that your contributions fund. And specifically for Equality Now, a particular person. A bit of a quiet, humble, joyful, legal tornado. She doesn't know this is happening. For 2 decades, she has been behind the legal reforms you've just heard about that have altered the life trajectories of women and girls on every continent. And this year, as we mark 30 years since the Beijing Platform for Action, Antonia Kirkland, our Director of Legal Equality, celebrates 23 years with Equality Now. She began this journey at our founder's kitchen table right here in New York City. And today, she is recognized globally as one of the leading human rights lawyers on gender discriminatory law. Sharing platforms with UN Secretaries General, bringing movements together, and producing legal work that has changed the course of history. Now, Antonia thinks she's coming here just to talk about her work tonight. What she doesn't know is that this whole moment is a celebration of her. the person who quietly pours her heart, her skill, and her vision into making equality not just an aspiration, but a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me and her husband, Mark, in welcoming Equality Now's very own Antonia Kirkland.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Antonia Kirkland, and I think I had a title change tonight. I'm the global lead for legal equality and access to justice. So let me take you now to 1995. My classmates and I are hearing about a seminal women's conference in Beijing, the torrential rain, and the thousands of women gathered there despite it. The founders of Equality Now were also there, helping to shape the blueprint on women's and girls' rights, the Beijing Platform for Action. Fast forward to 1999, I am now a law school intern at Equality Now, and sitting next to me at a tiny desk is our previous ED, Yasmin. Yes, there she is. She is writing the first edition of our Words and Deeds Advocacy Report, holding governments accountable in the Beijing +5 review process. And faxes from lawyers are pouring in from around the world. If you are under 35 and you don't know what a fax is, it's okay to chat GPT it. The faxes captured the discriminatory laws women and girls face throughout their lives. As a young girl who could be legally married off to an older man, to a woman facing poverty in her old age because she can't inherit property in the same way as a man can. We have seen a lot of progress. Almost 60% of the laws we have highlighted have changed to the benefit of millions of women and girls around the world. Today, though, I see the storm clouds have arrived again. I've just returned from the United Nations General Assembly, where leaders from around the world gather to tackle global challenges like peace, human rights, climate change, and gender equality, a space that the US is disengaging from or disrupting. During the assembly, we shared our latest analysis of the Beijing Platform's implementation. It exposes the growing backlash against women's and girls' rights, from homophobic family protection laws to the weakening of institutions meant to advance gender equality. Equality Now's call to action to governments, the UN, and world leaders is for them to do everything in their power to stop this. Equality Now is actively supporting them to do just that. If I could tell the 1995 graduate version of me that I, along with my wonderful colleagues, would be helping the United Nations itself prepare for the next largest and generationally important gathering of women's rights activists, the Commission on the Status of Women next year, I'm sure she would have laughed in disbelief. It has been and continues to be my honor to be carrying Equality Now's legacy of Beijing to the UN's Commission, as well as working with legislators around the world to change these discriminatory laws, to continue to build a brighter future where everyone enjoys full legal equality on the basis of sex and gender. And thank you for all that you do to support our work. Thank you so much.